This video is brought to you by Soccer.com, North America's largest online soccer retailer. Be sure to use coupon code 1SR4U at checkout for free shipping within the US on any order of $100 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you a line comparison video of the entire Nike SG Pro line of shoes. Ever since Nike released this Soft Ground Pro line to the public, people have been very confused as to what exactly the SG Pro stud pattern is designed to be used on. And the simple answer to that is for soft ground. Just because there is an inclusion of plastic molded studs on the shoe does not mean that you can use these on firm ground, hard ground, or even artificial grass. Not only is it not going to perform all that well because it's not designed for that playing surface, but it's also going to cause harm to the shoe in terms of durability, and it's also going to be very, very uncomfortable, and also can be very, very dangerous wearing studs that are too long on a playing surface that is not soft like the shoes are designed to be used on. First off, I just kind of want to explain your standard soft ground stud pattern. This is a pair of Asics I have here, and this would be considered a standard 6 stud soft ground formation, where you have your 4 studs in the forefoot and you have your 2 studs in the heel. You can see the studs themselves are a little bit on the longer side, and this is the norm for a soft ground stud pattern. Nobody in their right mind would ever try to replace these with plastic studs or shorter studs and use this as a firm ground stud pattern, simply because it just doesn't make sense. People understand that this is designed for soft ground when it's wet and muddy, and the studs are going to be able to easily dig into the ground, and when you come off that field there should be mud all over the bottom of your shoe. Nobody's going to be trying to use this on artificial grass or even firm ground for that matter. The SG Pro stud pattern is a little bit different in that you have your four soft ground studs in the forefoot and your 2 in the heel, but you also have the included molded plastic studs, 2 in the heel, 2 here at the back start of the forefoot. You have 1 as a support stud here, 1 support stud in the middle, then you kind of have this push off stud at the front here, and that is basically what the Soft Ground Pro stud pattern from Nike is. People seem to be under the impression that they can just either use the shortest studs that are included with the SG Pro stud patterns and get away with wearing them on firm ground or even artificial grass, or they just like to unscrew these studs and put in some plastic ones that are not shorter, by the way. You can't buy shorter plastic studs that are going to fit properly in the shoe. I've tried, I've looked, and there's really nothing that you can buy out there that's going to mimic the feel of a standard molded stud. So replacing the studs to use them on harder surfaces is definitely not something you want to do. Also keep in mind that because you have a screw-in section, there is somewhere for the stud to actually screw in on the shoe itself, so that automatically creates a pressure point, and if you're going to be playing on harder surfaces, it's going to be very, very noticeable when you're running around and very, very uncomfortable. But other than that, that's pretty much it as far as where you want to be using the soft ground stud patterns. Like I said, you want to be using these on soft ground. The reason why we see so many pros wearing soft ground stud patterns is because they are playing on premium fields that are taken care of very, very well. They're watered several times a day. They're watered before they play. And like I said, they're pristine condition. They're as soft as can be. And that top layer that's like a 3/4 of an inch to an inch deep of soft, moist dirt, where, like I said, when you're running around, it's going to get stuck to the bottom of your shoe. That's when you want to be wearing a soft ground stud pattern and not anytime else. You don't want to be wearing on artificial grass. You don't want to be wearing on firm ground. Just keep that in mind. So as far as what you're going to be buying the soft ground stud pattern for, it's for playing on soft ground. This is not something that you can buy as your only pair of shoes to be using on all different types of playing surfaces. This is something that you can buy to keep in your bag, and when the time is right, you can wear them on soft ground. Otherwise, stick with the firm ground, stick with an AG stud pattern, because that's where you're going to get the best performance out of your shoe, and those are the playing surfaces that most people are playing on. As far as what the differences are between all 4 of these particular Soft Ground Pro stud patterns, the Laser, the Maestri, and the Legend actually feature the exact same Soft Ground Pro stud pattern, which I don't think a lot of people realize. So you can see that you have your four studs in the forefoot, your 2 studs in the back, then you have your 2 molded studs in the heel that are a little bit kind of these rounded bladed shapes. You have your 2 studs at the start of the forefoot, the 1 stud on the side, the 1 push-off stud, and then of course the 1 support stud. And if you notice, the Maestri has the exact same stud pattern, and so does the Laser. So there's no difference between these 3. The only variation is going to come from the Mercurial Vapor 8, and even then, the studs are a little bit different shaped, but there's no actual difference in the formation. You have bladed studs instead of the rounded studs here in the heel. You have your 2 bladed studs here, the 1 here, the 1 support stud in the middle, and then of course your 1 bladed toe-off stud. So that's really the only difference here as far as the stud patterns themselves, they all tend to perform pretty much at the same level and feel about the same when you are wearing them on soft ground. So there's really not much of a difference there. As far as what else is included in the studs, all the stud patterns I have out on the table are featuring 11mm studs in the forefoot and 13mm studs in the heel. You can actually see the number 13, and then these feature the number 11. Every shoe that you buy with Soft Ground Pro studs are going to feature the extra set of studs. So this features a set of 13mm studs and 15mm studs. So this would be for extra soft ground. You would put the 13mm ones in the forefoot, and of course the 15mm ones in the heel area. And then of course you do get a stud wrench as well, which I'll show you guys. And that is what the stud wrench would look like. It says NikeFootball.com on there, and that's pretty much all you would get included with the SG Pro stud pattern sole plates from Nike. That's pretty much it as far as my comparison goes. If you guys have any questions regarding the SG Pro versions of any of these shoes, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And also keep in mind there will be full reviews for all these shoes that are up on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. It'll give you a pretty good idea as to how each of these shoes fit, feels, and performs. Just keep in mind when you're buying a soft ground stud pattern, it's only designed to be used on soft ground. So don't go into buying a Soft Ground Pro stud pattern thinking that you're going to be able to use it on all types of surfaces. It's really only designed to be used for soft ground, and that's the only surface that I would personally recommend using them on as well. Other than that, guys, like I said, if you could leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated, and feel free to leave a comment down below. Other than that, if you have any questions not related to the video, go ahead and leave that on my Facebook page. There will be a link in the description to that. And as always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.